both of these. So these are few questions that you should have very clear answers for within yourself. A business plan is a plan that will help you be clear about these answers. If you have any confusion about these answers, it will confuse you, your team, your people, your vendor, your supplier, your buyer, everybody. So these are some definitive answers which you should have. You have to decide you're making the business plan for whom. There has to be a purpose for doing what you're doing. So business plan can be made for different people and each plan would be slightly different from the others. Ideally, business plan is something that you make for yourself. You don't get up every morning with a great idea and try to execute by evening. By evening, most of the ideas which look great in the morning look quite stupid because the practicality of it comes around, the difficulty of it comes around. Hence, a business plan has to be made which lays out a clear path which you should do for a given period of time and not review it, not change it every morning, here, say, understand here, there, and keep changing it all the time. Never stabilize yourself with a very definitive, clear roadmap ahead. So, a business plan has to be made for self so that the human mind fluctuation which we come across morning to evening don't affect our decisions on a regular basis. This should be the most detailed business plan because this is for self. Beyond this, we can also make business plan to find a co-founder or find a partner. This would be slightly different because business plan should be made the purpose of what the person who you are presenting it to will look at it from. A co-founder will look at it, investment of his time and money into it, or whatever proportion of those two things which he is going to put in. So accordingly, how his time will be rewarded to him, how his money will be rewarded to him by returns, that he has to understand. That should come out clearly if you are presenting to somebody who you are looking at as a probable co-founder or a partner. You could be making a business plan to an employee. If you're looking at a marketing manager, you're looking at somebody in those specific kind of things, you will have to tell him what are your plans. He's not supposed to come and make his own plans there. He's supposed to execute your plan. Hence, you have to have a very clear plan which you will present to him, which will cut off lots of the things, details otherwise. But he has to be told that what is that you're looking in terms of marketing, and that is what he should achieve. So, depending on what employee you're presenting it to, the plan has to be tweaked in accordingly. There could be a business plan even for a buyer or a consumer to understand what your business is and how does he fit in. A very different outlook it have to have. I'm not talking about a sales brochure or a sales pitch. That is still very different. There could be a business plan for an investor in equity who you want to invest in equity, which means he's not going to invest time into your business. He's only going to invest money in your business. So he's only looking for returns from the business. He's not looking for his time returns because he's not going to invest time. There's a distinct difference between a co-founder and an investor. Co-founder can invest time and money both in whatever proportion you decide and agree with him. Investor is just an investor of money, no time. So he would only invest his money. So you have to give him his presentation based on what he is looking at. You can have an investor in debt. Debt is something you take as a loan from somebody. It could be a bank or a financial institution or a private company who is giving you a loan. They are not even interested in profits. They are interested that can they get the return on the loan they give? Can they get the loan back in whatever time frame is being proposed and talked about? So that again is a different approach. If you're going to talk to them like an investor, they will get confused and you would not achieve what you've set out to achieve. And for a general purpose, sometime on a competition, for some general pitch here, there you make a business plan, which has some details, which talks about what your business is all about. Hence, business plan has to be made based on whom are you presenting it to with what purpose. For self, it is the most detailed draft. For everybody else, you will cut off some portion out of it, which is not relevant to them. So for self, if your business plan is a 40-page business plan, For others, it could be 10, 15, 20 pages, which are relevant to whoever you're presenting it to. But you should have one robust business plan for yourself, which would ensure that you remain on one focus, one goal all the time and don't deviate from it here and there anytime. First thing which you have to do is you have to define your business. Most of the time, I have found I've been in this space of talking to entrepreneurs now for 12 years. Entrepreneurs don't define their business very clearly. Some very simple suggestions that I wish to make when you define your business. You have to do it in very simple terms. It has to be understood by a common man. So don't use some abbreviation, acronym, or a highly technical word, which the common man thinks that, okay, this is beyond me. I have to stop listening from here onward because I don't understand this. You have to define your business without any adjectives, particularly superlatives. We give the best cake on earth. There is nothing called the best cake. We want to give the best service. No, there is nothing called the best service. We want to give world class this. No, there is nothing called world class. Define your business in some very simple terms. Kindly do not use adjectives for defining business. That doesn't mean anything to you. For the listener, of course, it doesn't mean anything. And normally you have to define your business in 10 words. They say if you can't define your business in 10 words, you don't know your business. Normally, for defining your business, we will take 20, 25 words. No, that only shows that we are confused about it. Any business, the biggest of the businesses can be defined in 10 words in simple terms without any adjectives for the person to know and understand what business you are in. You have to learn to do this because this clears the business concept in your mind and you're not pursuing goals and aims which are beyond really human comprehension, which confuse most of the time. A typical layout of a business plan. A business plan normally consists of a particular format. It's not a legal document that there's any legality given that this is what you have to cover. But depending on whom you are showing this to, whom are you presenting it to, you cover something which will let the person know about your business, almost everything that they would come across. So the first thing would be an executive summary. Executive summary is usually one page or one slide at max of 2 pages or 2 slides, in which you would give a gist of the whole business, not only what business is, about everything about you, business, target, pricing, market, segment, competitor, whatever you want to write, but in very, very brief. Why this has to be done? Executive summary is like a trailer of a movie wherein you say everything, but you don't say everything. But you have to generate enough interest in the viewer that he will wait for the details which you will give in later. If you can't catch the interest of the person you are presenting a business plan to in the first 5 or 7 minutes, then you will never get that interest after that. If you can't make it interesting enough in those first 5 minutes, he will not listen to your next 2 hours of presentation after that. This is just like a trailer of a movie wherein you will have to tell the viewer what is it about, but not tell them what it is about. Okay. So this is very critical. If you can't hold the viewer, you can't hold the person you're presenting it to on the first 5 minutes, he is gone. After that, he's not listening to you. He may be sitting there, but he is not listening to you. Then you give the company summary. So you talk about their business organization. If it's a body corporate or a partnership or a LLP or a sole proprietor, whatever legally it is, who all are there, what are your kind of roles that you are doing, about the company, when was it formed, where is it there. So something about your legal structure. But that is the first thing anybody would want to know, as to where you are based. What are you? Who is behind this? You may be the owner, you may not be the owner. Business plan is not necessarily always presented by the owners. So the company summary should be the next thing which one should spend some time on to give a clarity as to who are the people and where are they based, how old is the company. Then is when you come to the products or the services you are offering. The most critical part of your business plan, but most times most abused part of your business plan, because you'll end up spending too much time here. You suddenly get too obsessed with your product and service, and you start talking so much about it that it doesn't serve the purpose. Kindly do not shift the focus and interest from the person you are presenting it to. What would be of interest to him or her? Only that discussion you're supposed to have. Do not get obsessed with your product and service and take half an hour to talk about it. It doesn't help. The person who is sitting in front will know that you are extremely obsessed with the product and service. That is not what helps. You have to clearly give out your product and service. Hence, the most critical part again, but don't get obsessed about it and spend time more than required on doing so. Then you have to come to the market analysis based on what's your target market. Your clarity of target market should come. Target market is a critical element in most business decisions, which is not sometimes used very judiciously. Kindly understand and appreciate that Maruti and Mercedes both are four-wheeler sellers. But are they competitors? No, they are not competitors. A buyer of Maruti will not buy a Mercedes. A buyer of Mercedes will not buy a Maruti. So the whole business is depending on the specific market segment you're targeting to. For all purposes, both are an automobile manufacturers. But are they competitors? No, they are not competitors. Will their business plan look same? No, their business plan will not look same. Their whole focus, their whole plan of any kind will not look same. Typically because they have a very different market segment which they are adhering to. So the whole market analysis has to be based on that. There are people who are trying to sell idlis. They will go to Google Uncle and Google the market of breakfast and tell you that it is worth $200 billion in the world, because it also includes cornflakes and cold milk and XYZ. No, sorry, don't do that. Your market, if you are selling idlis, then your market is the lane in which you are selling idlis. How many people pass that lane is your market. What's happening in the world is not your market. Be very clear about the numbers that you arrive at in case of any kind of a market projection, sales projection, target market, which will decide the market analysis. This has to be very clearly done. Otherwise, the viewer knows that you are going hanky-panky somewhere else. Now, once you know the product, once you know the market, then what is your strategy and how are you going to implement reaching that market with that product and the service? This has to come out clearly, because it's finally the delivery of the product and the service which will result into business. So here we have defined who are we, company summary, what is the product service we are offering, what is the market available to us. Depending on the product and service, the market availability is defined. Any product we are giving will have a geographical restriction. It doesn't go anywhere else. There are services which also will have a geographical restriction. They don't go beyond that. And then the strategy in which you will try and achieve and implement whatever you're projecting in terms of reaching the target customer for that particular market, for that particular product and that particular service. Finally, once this is clear as to what is your strategy and implementation method, you would have to have a management summary, which is the whole hierarchy as to what you will do as a founder, who else do you have on your team who would assist you in doing whatever are the general business functions: production, marketing, sales, purchase, HR, whatever it is. Depending on the size you're projecting, you could be saying, okay, I will do 3 out of 5 or 5 out of 7 things out of this. That's fine. But everybody wants expansion, and which expansion you need more people. So the person you're presenting it to, it be a co-founder or it be an investor. When the growth happens, how are you going to handle this? There are occasions when the founder becomes a drawback, founder himself becomes a roadblock in the growth of the particular business. Because he or she thinks, I will do everything. In growth, the first condition of growth is you have to start delegating. If you are going to do everything, the growth will not come, because fortunately, all of us have the same 24 hours, and all of us don't have those unlimited skill sets. We all have a limited given skill set for us, not beyond that. So a management summary is what will make the person know that physically what you're talking of, can you do it? Have you even thought as to when the growth comes, will you be able to do it? Yes or no? Finally, the business that they are projecting, the definition of business is what? I'm going by the dictionary meaning. I'm not quoting any management expert or guru. Business is any mental or physical activity with an intent of making profit. So two things are minimum in business. The intent should be to make profit. Will profit be made? Yes or no? No guarantees. And second, the intent should be to make profit sustainably, not make once in a while, sometimes later, after 3 years. No. Business, the only purpose of doing business is to make profit sustainably. Hence, you have to have a robust business finance plan. A financial plan would mean what? We shall discuss a little later, because it's the most important thing of the whole exercise of a business plan. Now, one thing interesting is people who made business plan here, 4 of you said you did. When you make a business plan, where do you start? Most people land up starting making the executive summary first. Please look at it in your own logic. The whole exercise has to be, what I'm telling you is the way a business plan has to be presented. This is not the sequence in which the business plan should be prepared. Business plan has to be prepared reverse. First, you have to make a financial plan. Don't write anything else. You have to first evaluate if the business is technically and financially viable. If your business is technically and financially not viable, then nothing is required to be done about that. You need not do any market analysis, no details on product service, nothing works. Do you have the human power? You have the strategy? Do you have yourself skill set or qualification to do it? Whatever you are lacking in, do you have people around who can do it? Can you employ people who can do all this? You have to make the whole business plan reverse and reach the executive summary, because executive summary will tell you something of each of the content that is coming forward. But people founder by writing a business plan in a reverse method. They would first write the executive summary, then go on company summary, product service, and all that. And by the time they reach financial plan, they would either realize that it is not looking very interesting. To make it look interesting, they will write lots of things there. But all these 7 things so far have to marry each other. They have to be in sync on a common objective of doing a business for sustainable profits. But those gaps would be seen. So you have to make the business plan reverse. You have to start with the financial plan first, ensure it is looking profitable and sustainable, and then fill up the gaps and reach the executive summary, the last. Remember the example of a movie trailer. First, you have to make a movie, and then only you can make the trailer. Even for making a movie, kindly sit down and imagine how the movie is made. It is not made the way you think it is made. The first thing about the movie is story writing. For a story writing, the first thing the fellow has to write is the end. And from the end, he has to build up the movie, build up the whole storyline. It is not built up from the front to back, it is always built up from the back to front. So, first, he has to decide the end, then, he has to decide the climax, then, he has to decide the various characterizations, then, he has to decide the character and make the movie in that order finally. So when it is presented to you, you have shown the characters, you have shown their characteristics, the story is built up, a climax is reached, and then it ends. But that is not how the movie is conceived and thought about. It is always thought about reverse. Otherwise, there would be movies you don't like because they did not end the way you thought they should have had ended. Those are the movies which are not made reversed. The producers kept making changes in between, and suddenly somewhere the movie ended. In many ways, a business plan is like making a movie. You have to make it reverse. You have to make this executive summary in the end, which is just like a trailer of a movie, which says everything but does not say everything. This is very critical. Kindly remember all this. There could be much more really when you make a movie. The last thing, once you finish your financial plan, is appendices. You have wherein you will have to write down you have relied on what. When you make a business plan, you make lots of assumptions. You pick up some things, some data that is available to you, some assumptions you make. If you're making jewelry, you assume that gold is going to cost you so much. Gold prices can go up, can go down, government can ban gold jewelry. There can be so many things which can happen in business. Hence, when you make a business plan, a thought on a business plan, you make various assumptions. You assume you will get a marketing manager at a lakh of rupees a month, but you may not get one for 2 lakhs also, or you may get one for 50,000 also. You may imagine that you will need 5 workers. You're making cakes and bakeries, you will need 5 people. You would have to make assumptions for doing the whole working. In the end, you should write down everything that you've assumed, because to a presenter, it is important to know that your business plan is based on what assumptions. You might have assumed that you will start from your city, you will cover your state in 6 months, and in 2 years, you will cover your neighboring states, and in 5 years, you will go national. You have to give this whole thought process clearly to the viewer. Otherwise, he won't know where are you going to get the growth from, how are you going to increase. All your assumptions and business plan is finally based on various assumptions that you make. Be clear about it, mention it clearly if you've picked up some data, some assumptions from somewhere, so that people know that these are not your own thoughts, you're relying on somebody's study and somebody's figures about it. The exercise of making a business plan does not end with making it. Some of you, I think 4 of you, when I asked last time in the introduction, said 4 of you have made. I didn't want to ask you that question that when did you make it? Some of you would have made it 2 years back, 4 years back, 5 years back. Preeti is still sitting here, who had met me maybe 6 or 7 years back, and she still doesn't accept she has made a business plan clearly. Or if she made 6 years back, when Congress was ruling the country, she has never reviewed it or revised it after that. No, business plan is relevant as you wish it to be for your business. It would need a review regularly. Now, what do I mean by regularly? Not every day, every week, every month. Because business plan is based on certain assumptions. Those assumptions will keep changing. And that is where you have to keep reviewing and tweaking a business plan. You, in the initial stage, when you start a business, right from the idea to taking it to go to market strategy, maybe you should do a review every 3 months. If you are running, and business plan has to be made always, it is not something you make when you start a business. After 20 years into business also, you have to plan yourself for next 5 years. The dynamic society, country, and the markets we live in, things are changing on a regular basis. Nobody is doing the same business which they were doing 20 years back. Everything changes. So you have to keep making a business plan with the changes. You have to keep reviewing the business plan based on the assumptions and keep tweaking it so that you're more current, more relevant, not on a daily basis, not on a weekly basis. Initially, quarterly basis, after some years, once you know and understand your business better, then maybe a yearly basis is fine. But anytime in between, if you're taking a drastic decision to do something about your business, kindly change your business plan first. It has to be written. Some of you feel it's all here. I have the plan right here. I don't want to say what is there right here. But yes, let me tell you that there is nothing right there. Because the human mind does not remember the same thing. We only like and remember what we think we want to like and remember. Hence, business plan has to be in writing. Don't keep the business plan right here. It has to be put into writing. I personally believe that if it is the truth, it can be written. While writing itself, if you feel that, oh my God, this is not going to happen, don't write it. While thinking, you might be able to put anything into your mind, but you will not be able to write it. It has to be written if it can be done. The theory says that if you can make profit on paper, the probability and the possibility of making it practically is very high. If your financials on the paper itself is not making profit, what magic will happen that you will make profit in real life? No way. The paper profits, if they are there, the possibility and probability of you making real profits by doing that business based on whatever assumptions you made is much, much higher than not doing that. All assumptions are made to do it should be written down clearly so you know regularly that you assume that this is what would happen. If this is not happening, this particular thing needs to be tweaked, it needs to be changed, it needs to be amended. I've seen jewelry business when the women started, they feel 100% my target customer are women. But when they practically do it for a year and two, they realize that there are 20% men who are buying jewelry because jewelry is also a gift market. And then accordingly, it has to be tweaked that if a men are buying jewelry for a specific purpose, how that 20% market has to be attended to. That's a very different market. That's a very different method one is to approach that market. But this is something which comes from assumptions. So assumptions have to be written and you have to review your assumptions vis-a-vis the reality which you face when you do the business. It has to provide a roadmap for self and team. Okay, all of you would complain you don't get a good team. According to me, there is nothing called a good team. The team is as good as you are. If your instructions in the morning to evening or your instructions from a Monday to Saturday vary too much, the team doesn't like to work because you are undergoing a wide fluctuation from morning to evening. Morning you have one idea, evening you have one more statement to make, Saturday you are explaining something else altogether. When you have a business plan, freeze it on paper, don't amend it on a regular basis. Allow the team to work on it accordingly. Review it regularly with them, but don't change your thought. Human thought is prone to changes very regularly. Do not change your human thought regularly. So you have it in writing. It should become a roadmap. Even if you are alone, yes. If you are in partnership, for sure. If you have co-founders, for sure. Because otherwise you will find that both the people are going in two different directions unless you have a common goal. Somebody says things export needs to be done, somebody thinks local market needs to be done. They're working differently. You have to sit down, discuss, decide one thing. Next 3 months, we will do local market or export. Review it in 3 months, see if it has happened. If it has been beneficial, yes or no, change it. At the same point of time, two things cannot be worked. It's conflicting. You have to regularly review it to make one do course correction. It will go wrong. There is no guarantee that a business plan will make you succeed. No. but it is a guarantee that business plan will not make you fail unceremoniously. Your failure will not be hit by an unknown so much that, oh my God, I didn't even know this. No, only your assumptions can go wrong. So business plan gives you the cushion, gives you all the assumptions in one place. So you know when you're going wrong, you will correct it in time. If you don't have a plan, you will not correct it in time and you can go wrong somewhere. The damages and time wastage is less. As a human, we have a normal thing. No, no, this will happen. No, no, some more time. Give it some more time. It will happen. No, nothing would happen. How much time you give, two things which become very important in any thought process, any decision making in business are the target and the timeline. Target in terms of numbers and timeline in terms of time. Both of them are critical. None of them come back. For everything that you plan, I want to get so many customers, I want to sell so many pieces, I want to service so many people. You have to also put a time. I want 100 customers. You can get 100 customers in 3 months, 1 year, or 3 years. It doesn't mean the same. So when you put a number as a target, you have to put a timeline as a target also. Review it in time to decide if you are doing it right or you're not doing it right. We all are prone to our own errors, our own mistakes. The key is to decide it in time where are we going wrong and correct it. So the damage is minimum. The reasons of something happening or not happening are known. You thought this would happen, did not happen. You thought this would not happen, it happened. Both the things in reality will look different. That is the excitement of doing business. It does not go on a particular assumption or same all the time. But the earlier you know and the faster you can act on it to take your decisions, better it would be for you. Financial projections, the most important thing, and that is where you start backwards from. It will make one know the financial viability of the product, which is the key for doing a business because you do business for economic reasons, for earning profits. Business has to be technically viable and financially viable. If one of those viabilities are missing, there is no business there. It helps set numerical targets to achieve. There is nothing called big business, good business, large business. No, there is nothing called that. You have to put a number to it. I want to do this turnover. I want to do this profit. I want to have so many customers. I want to close so many deals. I want to make so many offices. There has to be a number there. There is nothing called big business, small business, medium business, no, nothing. I have a small business. You think is a very humble way of saying business. That word small doesn't mean anything. Always put a numerical target. Most business decisions should be supported by a number and by nothing else. The price points the target customers get determined. You have to decide this to be able to do your financial projection. You can't just put a figure there that I will do one crore business. What do you mean by 1 crore business? I'll have so many customers, each customer so much, this will happen. Make minimum 3 years ahead. If you are starting new, the first year make a monthly projection for 12 months. The second year move it to quarterly, make every quarter. The third year you can go annual. If you are a running business of few years, then you can have all three annually done. Otherwise, 12 and 416 and 117 columns should be there in your financial projection. We should be a proper your sales and revenue earning streams and your expenses given in there. Put your targets, numbers, aims, goals to achieve what you wish to achieve. As a solopreneur, as a women entrepreneur, as an entrepreneur for profit, my personal suggestion is kindly target a profit. I want to make so much profit. I want to do so much turnover and get no profit does not mean business. You're not here to showcase that my turnover is so much. Yes, who is benefiting from that? You're not running a quoted company where giving a turnover figure will make somebody very exciting. You have to have profit as your goal aim and work backwards from there. I want to make 1,000 rupees. I make 10%. So for making 1,000 rupees, I have to sell worth 10,000. Each product is 500 rupees. For selling 10,000, I need to have 20 customers. Period. You have to go backwards to achieve that. No, I want to do so much, make no profit because I have no idea of costing. No, sorry, it doesn't work. Make all assumptions of cost and all revenues in numbers and consider them targets. Write all revenues, all costs to reach realistic figures. Don't simply put some figure there. If you don't have any basis of deciding a figure, decide a figure, put it there, review it as soon as you have an actual figure if it is wrong. Have your target profit in consideration for making the same. Don't target sales, target profit first and get a sales out of that. Feel happy with the projected returns, else keep revising them to reach your level of satisfaction and need of doing business. Find a particular projected return and feel happy when you reach it there. Don't keep pushing the bar further. After some time, you will find you're beyond the bar. It doesn't get pushed anymore. Decide a figure, achieve it. Decide the next figure, achieve it. Go ahead. That was in short what I wanted to convey. So go ahead. Anything you wish to
Can you
ask?
just put the last slide again? I just want to make a note of the last two points.
You want to?
Make a note of the last 2 points in the last slide.
Don't worry about slide. I will get the slide. The whole PPT sent to you. There's nothing secret about that. I will send it to CWE. They'll send the PPT to you. Don't worry about that.
Fine.
Okay, this is not something created by me. This is standard available. I'll send the PPT to Meenakshi and she'll share it with you. That's not a problem.
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
share
don't
it.
worry about that. I have to stop this share. One sec. How do I do that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So the scare is over. I'm sure all of you are scared a bit. You should be. This is something you have to do for your own good, for your own plan, for your own thought, for your own clarity. This does not benefit anyone else. It benefits you. Clarity of purpose. Go ahead, ask me anything that you would wish to ask. I'll try and answer that. I can't assure if I know the answer, but I'll try and discuss that. Go ahead. Don't tell me you're scared so much that you'll forget your questions also.
So, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Rinku.
Yeah,
And
Rinku, go ahead.
so, my business is an LLP. Okay, started in 2012, and it's me and my husband as the two directors. But my husband is more of a sleeping partner, so he doesn't do anything in the company. He's just there because we needed two directors. So it kind of makes me a solopreneur, and
Yes,
I was
yes.
now after 12 years of being in business, and we actually had a proper physical office and a large team and all of that. After the COVID, I've given up the office space and done all of that, and now I'm in taking the co-working space. So I'm at taking up the space at WeWork, and so done what it could, to kind of keep my business profitable still, and keep it running. Now my question is, I operate primarily, we have customers, MSMEs, small businesses who come to us because primarily they are the ones who need the help, in starting and looking up for registrations, labor licenses, where do I hire from, where do I get my team members, what are the policies? Yeah. So all those kind of things, right? So they are the ones who primarily come to us. And most of them are from Bangalore and from Mumbai currently. That is my customer base right now. So now if I want to expand, and if I want to go, anywhere else, because now I receive a lot of inquiries from Gurgaon, but, every time, though we keep telling people, and the NCR region generally, and we tell them, okay, we will be able to service you. But however, I lose out on it. So I was thinking, should I look for a co-founder, or somebody else who can help me, in that part of town? And should I look for somebody who, then what do I give them? Percentage stake in the company? Do I give them sweat equity? I don't know what I need to do, but will I find the right kind of chemistry? So I have all those questions. So that was what I was looking at. So do I stick to these two regions? These are my comfort zones, Bangalore and Mumbai. I get my customers from there. It's grown organically through word of mouth. But I've been losing a lot
Somebody
of
else.
saying no to a lot
I,
of people from Delhi, Gurgaon. So
Rinku, what you're saying is a statement about self. Where is the question in this?
so the question is,
You're seeking answer for a question which is not there. You've shared your thought. You have shared
yeah,
your current state of business. There's
yeah,
no answer to it. That is the excitement of business, right?
I know.
Now, if I was you in the situation you are in, so that is not an answer, it's an assumption that
Hmm.
if I was you, how would I do it?
Yeah.
My first principle, which I have followed, I've done business for 30 odd years, is no partner.
Mm.
Even in your case, there's no partner. Husband is the
Yeah.
co-founder for a technical legal reason. That's separate. And it's a husband, so that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, there can be no business dispute. I am not talking of other disputes.
Yeah.
So that is fine. Right? So you are single decision maker. Right. Now, there is a new market opening that is possible in Gurgaon.
Hmm.
Okay, you have used some words which are very critical. You have talked from your heart, so those words have come out, and those words are very critical. You talked of comfort level, right? Business is not about comfort level. Business is about opportunity, even if it is a discomfort level.
Ah.
If business is there in Tumkur or Shimoga,
Hmm.
you will have to grab it because opportunity is there, even if it is uncomfortable.
Right.
Right? So it's time to sit down and think how to do it. Now, Gurgaon is physically too far, so you can't be going there up and down, but you will need somebody locally because the local language is very different. The way people operate is very different. You know the processes that need to be followed, so you can cover all up from a back office, but you need somebody in front.
Hmm.
Can you have an employee? Not necessary. The costing may be too much. The concept may be not. If the fellow leaves, you are again back to 0-1.
Hmm.
Why do you need a co-founder? Why you need somebody to join your organization and have a percentage stake in the Bangalore business? No need. So you can have a contractual arrangement, right?
Hmm.
With somebody. So first you have to define what kind of a person. Would it have to be a chartered accountant or somebody available, or a
Hmm.
women will do? Because currently you have lots of women who are qualified but not doing anything, who like to do something interesting. Okay, with their own time commitment, not work 9 to 5, but work 3-4 hours or whatever their skill set, they're qualified, they're knowledgeable, but they don't want to do a job, right? So on a contractual basis, that you get a customer in Gurgaon, we get a customer in Gurgaon, you are my face in Gurgaon. What we can do from a back office, I will do it from here. Once a year, I would be in Gurgaon to meet all the customers. Otherwise, you are my face in Gurgaon.
Hmm.
You would meet, do everything else, and everything that comes out of Gurgaon operations,
Hmm.
we will get the revenue like this, we will cost it differently. So much percentage will go towards HO cost,
Hmm.
and the rest we will share like this. This can be an arrangement, but not partnership.
Got it. Yeah.
LLP doesn't change, the arrangement doesn't change. This is for a specific business operations at Gurgaon.
Got it.
Tomorrow
Yeah.
you might need somebody at Calcutta. Tomorrow you might need somebody at Bombay. So you can have different arrangements.
Right.
Remember, see, normally you people think in terms of only two things, employee and partner.
Hmm.
No, today it's possible to have a very clear contractual arrangement with clear defined responsibilities,
Hmm.
clear defined exit plan, and clear defined sharing,
Sure.
right? So
Yes.
think of those kind of models. If I can say this in a slightly crude terms, don't get me wrong, but I would give
Sure.
that example is
Sure.
why the whole institution of marriage is today under question. We have this new term come in of live-in, right?
Ah, correct.
That's what I'm talking about, that you can have a very clear arrangement between two people. This is something which has happened all over. The whole
Yeah.
gig working, the whole moonlighting is based on
Yeah.
all these concepts. That
Correct.
your skill set is beyond one employment. So why can't you do two employments? Now you have virtual CFOs. You have
Yeah.
heard about that term. Virtually, I am your CFO because I know you don't need a CFO for 25 days for 8 hours a day. You don't have that kind of work.
Correct.
So one can be a virtual CFO for 10 companies.
Yes.
So look at an arrangement which is a win-win for you and a win-win for them. What is keeping you back is the comfort level. Remember, it's an additional business that will come. If you're doing 100 rupees in this market, and even if you do 1 rupee in that market, it is still 101. It is not
Absolutely.
99.
Yeah.
It does not matter if the Gurgaon person will take major money and you get minor money. Remember, it's still an addition to your kitty.
Correct.
If you can make this model work, you can make it work for Calcutta, Bombay, XYZ places. You can have 10 people working with you on an independent basis, reasonably open basis. Right? So in questions like this which come into business, sit down, close your room, sit down. First decide what all options are possible. Some of them are not comfortable to me, some of them are comfortable to me, but we can't decide based on comfort levels.
Comfort. Correct. Okay.
Evaluate those options. Every business decision you take, kindly know the exit route very clearly. In every relationship in life also, according to me, and in business, if the exit route is clear, there is normally no problem. The problem only starts because exit is imminent. It will, if the business does well, fellow would want to exit and do on his own. If the business does not exist, of course, he would want to exit. Exit route should be clearly defined that if whoever wants to exit, how he or she would exit would be this arrangement.
Right.
Keep that clear, go ahead and do it. Maybe the first arrangement will not work, second will not work. You will learn from those arrangements. Maybe the third would work.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what I would do if I'm there.
Sure,
What
sure.
you would do, you will have to sit down and think and decide.
Yeah, no, I actually thought about having these consultants, who have enough experience, like you said, women who have been in HR, who have taken a sabbatical
Yes,
after
so
10
that is where you
years,
have to
15
decide.
years.
If
Yeah.
somebody is already independent, he will make a commitment to you, but not prioritize your work. So you
Correct.
will have to first decide what kind of a person. If somebody is already very busy, then okay, they will say yes, one more arrangement. But then if they're going to give excuses of not being able to meet the client requirement, it is you who would be troubling you. So be very clear. Imagine all the issues when you sit down and discuss it. How much
Sure.
time she can give or he can give. But
Yeah.
as I would personally feel and recommend in your kind of a case, a woman is ideal because there are lots of women who are qualified, experienced, but not doing anything, would like to do contribute back on a very flexible kind of a mode, right?
Yes,
It's an ideal situation to be in.
sure. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Though this was Palak is her hands up, must be paining now. Palak, go ahead. Are you there, Palak?
Hello, yes, I am still here.
Can I see you?
Yeah, just a second. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
You had raised, who had raised it? Your hand was up, Palak.
Well,
You wanted to ask something?
no, not me.
Oh, sorry.
Must
I
have
see
been
a
by
hand on your
mistake.
thing. I see a hand on Reshma. Is there there? No. Oh, no, sorry. There's no hand there. Sorry. Anybody else wants to have something to discuss, talk? I'm not scaring you. I'm not psyching you people about a business plan. It's something for your use. You can reach out to me anytime. That's never a problem. You can reach out to me anytime through CWE that you would wish to talk, you would wish to discuss anything, anytime. I'm committed to the cause of helping people on business. It's my social commitment. Don't worry about that. So you can reach out to me anytime through CWE on any matter that you would like to discuss on a business plan format. Or I would want you to do 3 documents. We just spoke on 1. There are 2 more documents which you should do. Business plan really is one of the last documents. There are 2 initial documents you should do. First thing I suggest you should do is your SWOT analysis. How many of you know what is SWOT? Some of you would know what is SWOT. Good. How many of you made it? Hands down. Nobody. How many of you made it recently? Nobody. Kindly make your SWOT. because our strengths and weaknesses differ with time. You made it 4 years back, it doesn't remain valid now. Why I'm asking you to make your SWAT is very age dependent. If you are 18, 20 years old, then work on your weakness, make it your strength. You're already gone through life and already working in a commercial world. Where is the time to work on your weakness? But even if you're able to identify your weakness, it's a big thing. If you know this is my weakness, have somebody written, but work on your strengths, because that is where your skill set, your strengths lie. With age, the focus has to move. So my first thing is make your SWOT. Also make the SWOT of your business. There are two different SWOTs. And then align them together to see if the same weakness is in both, then you have a bigger problem to handle. If one has a strength and one has a weakness, then you know how to handle it otherwise. So make an honest SWOT to yourself, of you and of your business, which will tell you that you need help in which area you are strong, which you'll handle on your own. Second thing, you should make a BMC, which is a business model canvas. Some of you made it, hands up. Some of you used it, hands down. Nobody used it. That's a very, very important and a critical document. Just one big document, 9 squares in that. Nothing big about it. It take you 10 minutes to make, but those 10 minutes may not come in the next 10 days also. It requires you to think. Very critical 10 factors of your business which you need to write down. Kindly make your BMC clear to yourself. It doesn't mean to anybody anything. Two different people, same business will make two different BMCs, because BMC is very person specific. Has aviation business failed in India? Has aviation business failed in India? No. We are opening new airports all the time and Indigo is going berserk. Yes. But why Mr. Vijay Ladha is still sitting in UK? So it's not about aviation business. It's about how the person looked at that business. So it's about individual. A business never fails. It's always the businessman which fails. Because it's your perception about your business which does not come true so many times. It's not about the business, it's about us. So make a BMC, clear about yourself. Just making a BMC will give you lots of clarity about your own business. And third, then get on to a business plan, which is a much detailed document, can go from 20, 30, 40 pages. That will lay down a clear roadmap to you to know, should you do this? How should you do this? Should you do this? Discuss details of all three documents with people you are comfortable with. Please discuss. It helps. I've discussed SWOT with some people where what they think is their weakness, according to me, is their strength. What you think is your strength, according to me, is your weakness. In terms of business, personally, we are not concerned. Right? So these three documents you make, these are mirrors which will give you clarity about yourself and your road ahead. This is a suggestion I have. CWE can help you on all three documents, I'm sure, accordingly sometime. That could be useful.
Yeah.
I am done. Take over, Meenakshi.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, 1 minute.
Vijay.
Anybody has any questions, I'll answer. I have no time issue. Yeah,
Yeah,
Charu, go ahead.
I have
Anybody
a-
has any questions, I'll answer. I have no time issue. Charu, go ahead.
I have a question about financial projections. Sometimes if you're
Okay.
doing business which is in a very let's say niche space, how do you, is there any metric or any kind of a number of stepwise direction how to do the financial projection? Because
Yeah. Because continue, because.
no, I mean, because if you're starting out in a space which you don't have much experience in, it's based on your analysis of a need of the market, and you sometimes you think that the product or the service is going to do well, and you know that there is some need, but then how do you arrive at a financial projection that okay, after as you said that you should be able to project it over a year or 3 months or 5 months, so that you know that it's not just based on too many assumptions, but there is some there is some reality to it.
Charu, you know swimming?
Sorry?
You know swimming? You know swimming?
Yeah.
You know diving?
No.
Which is fine, right? Can you imagine a situation where you know diving but you don't know swimming?
No.
Is it possible for somebody to know diving and not know swimming? Diving is more difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know both anyway, don't worry. Diving is more difficult, swimming is easier. But is it possible that I know diving, I've gone over the water phobia, I can jump? Where's the question of learning swimming? Once I have gone over the water phobia, once I'm in water, if I can take a dive from 30 feet, then I'll swim. Is that possible? No. That is what you're talking about. If you've taken the dive, you have to be prepared to now swim. Because in business, or I could even say in life, Charu, there are no good and bad decisions, right or wrong. Who takes a wrong decision? We don't take a wrong decision. We take decisions and the time decides they're right or wrong. So how do you get over this situation? We don't know what decisions are right or wrong. So if you take well-informed decisions, the chances of them going wrong are lesser. They can also go wrong. Now, why I'm saying this is before you jump into it, before you take a decision, you have to collate enough information about it. You can't take a dive and then decide, oh my God, I didn't know I have to swim now. How do I get out of this? Now, whatever it is, now you're already taken a dive. There's very little one can do about that. My suggestion is whatever business, niche business, this, that, whatever. First decide what profit you want to make. And I don't want a dreamy figure, right? Because dreams are fine. Now, how is that profit figure relevant? Let me give you an example. I want to make 10,000 rupees a year. Number imagine, I'm just using a number to explain the process. I want to make 10,000 rupees a year. Is 10,000 right or wrong? How do you decide? According to me, rent is the amount you pay for using property. Interest is the amount you pay for using money. Similarly, salary is the amount you pay for using somebody's time. Decide how much money will I make if I go for a job. I don't go for my business. I am worth so much in a job market. If I work in a job market, I can get 20,000 salary. But my business can give me 10,000 profit. Should you do it? No. So according to me, one step is what you work in a job market. One figure, which depends on how much people are willing to pay you. I may think I'm worth 10 crores in job market, but nobody is willing to pay me. That's a dreamy figure. So we all have an evaluation that, oh, if I go for a job, that's which if I allow somebody to use 8 to 10 hours of mine, I can get so much money. So whatever business I want to do, I should get more than that, that it makes a worth it sense. If not in the first year, over a period of next 3 to 5 years, I should get more money. Then only it makes sense. You don't do business because I want to do business even if I make no money. Oh, sorry, that's called charity. I can't talk about that. That's not the right way. So decide a ballpoint figure. Presume I want to make 10,000 rupees a year is profit. Okay. And whatever business you're talking about that allows me 10% profit, 90% will go in this cost, that cost, manpower, assuming whatever that figure you want to put. Which means for doing 10,000 rupees profit, you will have to do a turnover of a lakh of rupees. I'm on mathematics, I'm not doing anything else, right? You have to do a lakh of rupees turnover. And you realize that my each customer whom I'm targeting, this level, men, women, urban, whatever geography, demographic you give, on an average will give me a billing of 500 rupees. So for doing a lakh of rupees, how many customers I need? I need 20 customers, right? Some can give me 7,000 billing, some will give me 3,000 billing. Average, I will be happy with the 5,000 billing. If I get 20 customers, for 20 customers in 12 months, it works out to, I should target 2 customers a month. Then I will get 20 in a year. 2 customers a month means I should get 1 customer every 15 days. Then I will reach the targets. This is irrespective of any business of now, right? Just on mathematics I'm working. So every 2 weeks, I should get a customer, get an average billing of 5,000, which I'll reach 1 lakh and I'll get my 10,000 rupees. Is this physically possible is the next question. Whatever is your product, service, target segment, can I get 1 customer in 2 weeks? Take that assessment and start working on it. You might get 1 customer every week, which means the assumption was lower, conservative. You might not get the customer for 4 weeks and realize that this is not my target at all. I was looking at college going girls, but college going girls have no money to pay. So my target is maybe earning women. So then you have to tweak the whole thing. That is why a business plan is based on assumptions. Some of these assumptions you'll have to change regularly because your target is going wrong, your market is going wrong, your calculation is going wrong. But always base it, according to me, on a calculation backwards from profit. I want to make 10,000, 10% profit I can make. 1 lakh billing I need, 5,000 can be average billing. So I need 20 customers. Let me get 1 customer every 2 weeks. In 4 weeks, in 8 weeks, if I am not able to do this average of 1 every 2 weeks, I need to change something somewhere. Right? Whatever is a niche market, as niche as it could be, in whichever I thought you said Gurgaon you are in, right? So imagine if you need 20 customers, then can I get 20 customers in Gurgaon? No. Maybe I'll have to go up to Faridabad also. But my suggestion, which many people do, and I personally think it's wrong, at the initial stages, 1 in Delhi, 1 in Bombay, 1 in Madurai, 1 in Salem. No, you will not know where to grow. You get too thinly divided. If your target is just 20 customers, now I can increase the number. I want to sell jewelry. I need 2,000 jewelry pieces to go. So I need 2,000 women in this age bracket and this salary bracket to buy jewelry. Those many women are there in Gurgaon, Faridabad, Delhi. You don't have to go out of it. Unless you increase 2,000 to 20,000, then you have to get into UP and Rajasthan and Punjab. But if you have 1 in Bangalore, 1 in Chennai, 2 in Tumkur, it will not help. You will get too thinly divided. You don't know what is happening. Are your target women right? Somebody is buying here and there, that's okay. But you are confused because growth you are not able to plan. So kindly increase your market to your own logic. Like Rinku said, she's comfortable with Bangalore, right? But if you have to increase, you'll have to go beyond Bangalore. If you think Bangalore is done with, you're able to take full potential almost, any more customers in Bangalore are becoming not cost effective. The acquisition costs are very high. Then move, expand it to a logic. So if you are in a niche market, better it is. You can find a niche customer and work on it accordingly. This is what I would feel. So work backwards on number basis. I personally believe very strongly only in numbers, because in numbers a 2 means a 2. It doesn't mean a 1.5. It doesn't mean a 2.5. Every business thought, and I can argue on this, which I have on some forums, that every decision, including personal decisions, are really made on numbers, but we don't accept it. Every decision that we people take on a daily life is really based on numbers. Numbers is a bigger language. Numbers is a language like English, Hindi, Punjabi, Sindhi, whatever that is. Numbers is a language, and we all use numbers to decide. We use numbers to decide our purchases. We use numbers to decide our school, where child will go, how we will come, what will. Everything is really based on numbers. So kindly use numbers for making your business decisions. Review it based on that numbers, and it will work out fine. Okay. Try doing this exercise. If you need more discussions, Charu, reach CWE, reach me through them. It will be my pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
That's really helpful.
All the best. All the
So I
best.
have a question, sir.
Yeah, Selva, tell me.
Yeah. So I'm doing microgreen business. what do you just we were talking about the profit. Should I calculate the profit on the very first day itself, or can I calculate after I get some more customers?
What business you are in? Can you repeat?
Microgreen business. Microgreen, I grow microgreens and I make sales of
Right.
them.
That's right.
I just want to know if I can.
No, your expenses are time based, your sales are time based. Why should you not make a profit almost every day? I'm not saying every day, but almost every day. Because the cost of microgreen on today, whatever paid, unless you have large stock lying which you have to carry forward to tomorrow, day after. So decide the time frame to your need. Every day keep a target. Today I should sell 100 bunches of microgreens. One on an average. So it could be 80 one day, 120 one day. If your average is coming only 50, 60, so there's something wrong somewhere. Either you have to increase your geography, there's something wrong going on somewhere. So decide a number. Now microgreens are again, you must be procuring or producing your own. I would not know. There would be a limitation. You can't target, I want to sell 1 million pieces a day. No, where's the availability? Right?
No.
So every business has a limitation on availability. You can decide, I get 100 pieces. Can I sell 100 pieces? Each piece, can I make 2 rupees? Am I happy with 200 rupees a day? All are number-based decisions. No, I have to sell 200 pieces to multiply by 2, get 400 rupees. Maybe that is okay. If I sell 500 pieces a day, make 2 rupees, I make 1000 rupees a day. Yes, that looks interesting. So first make your number-based decision. Then decide for selling 1000 pieces. Can I sell it in, you are in Bangalore, Selva, right?
Yes, Bangalore.
So then you have to decide if you can sell in Avenue Road, or you can go to Rajaji Nagar, or you can go beyond Bangalore to Mysore, Shimoga, whatever. Decide a number that is interesting to you, then put it in the market if this market is possible. Otherwise, you have to expand the market.
Thanks.
Anything is number based. Put it everything on a number.
Okay. In case if I have to meet with I can call you, no, sir. In case if I want
You can reach out. Yeah, you want to talk, you can reach out to CW and they'll fix up talking to me anytime. That's not a yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
go
you.
ahead, Kirti. Go ahead, Kirti.
Thank you, sir. So as I said that I was in academic and I am trying to make a transition. So when there are small projects, consulting projects like RFPs, which I have to apply to, I do it on my own. But when there are big projects, because one of the requirements you have prior experience in developing strategy plans for organizations, NGOs, etc. That's where I collaborate with a Berlin-based consulting firm or a Bangalore-based consulting firm, which is they are relatively the Bangalore one is a huge consulting firm. So that's when I collaborate. As somebody who's just started out and who's in a fairly competitive business, how do I watch out my interest? So one of the reasons why they collaborate with me is because of my subject expertise, and I have a very good publication record and my writing skills, etc. But at the same time, I don't have the technology like learning management system or the skills to develop explanatory videos and all these things. So this is where I am right now. And strategically, is it a good strategy for a starter, somebody who's starting out?
Kirti, you again saying what we discussed, that you made your SWAT, you shared your SWAT with me, not in those words. This I can do, this I cannot do. This is possible for me, this is not possible for me. Yes. So once you make your SWAT, you will need to collaborate to fill in your weakness. There's no alternate to that. Collaboration means sharing your revenue, sharing your time, sharing your knowledge in any which way, which is in today's world, nobody knows everything. You got to decide what is your skill set and work, add people around that for the more of it. Right? So that is your SWAT. So you have done your SWAT in a very informal manner. Do it in a very formal manner. You cannot collaborate with somebody who is got the same SWAT as you, because it doesn't make sense. 1 plus 1 cannot be 2 in business. It has to be more than 2. Then it makes sense to collaborate. If 1 plus 1 is 2, no, we are friends, we studied together, same course. Please don't become partners, because what are you going to add to each other? It doesn't work. So that is one. Again, in all your thing that you have said, you have used lots of adjectives. Think of the same sentences without adjective. You are new. What's new about it? You have a large experience behind you, not in the field. You have the experience in the field, but not in the way you're working. So what makes you new about it? So don't worry about all that. Just remove all those words from there. Decide 5 options that you can do. And try all 5. Which one will be the best? We do not know. Nobody knows. Business, the excitement of business is uncertainty. But we can play with uncertainty only to extent that it does not trouble us long term. We all have a stake to make. I am happy losing 5,000 rupees. I am happy losing 50,000 rupees. I am happy losing 5 lakh rupees. Where do I fall? I have to decide and work on it. It's a risk taking appetite, right? And that is the excitement of business. So make your options, make some collaborations. Collaboration have to be interesting to you and interesting to the other person. Otherwise, why would he or she collaborate with you? Right? So far as it is keeping you time occupied, so far as it is meeting your monetary requirement, there is nothing right or wrong about it. In business, only 2 things you should not do. Those 2 things are, don't need to write down, Kirti. I'm just giving some Gita ka gyan here. Don't need to write that down. The 2 things which you should not do are, what is illegal, that is against the law of the land, and what is unethical, which is against the law of the society. Everything else is allowed. Only these 2 things you don't do. Anything which is against the law of the land and anything which is against the law of the society. Everything else is allowed. There is absolutely nothing which is not allowed in business. To have clarity, any collaboration, any arrangement should be properly in writing. Otherwise, what happens? I thought like this, you thought like this. No 2 thoughts are same, and no 2 days the same people think the same way. So kindly structure and have that arrangement clear. What I will do, what you will do, what we will do together, how we'll share the work, how we'll share the responsibility, how we'll share the revenue. As much clarity in all that, it works, it doesn't work, does not matter. But it should not leave a bad taste in the mouth. Right? Exit plan should be clear. So get into verticals which are clear, write them down, have clear arrangements of operation, and try 100 things. 99 will not work. Which one will work, we don't know. Once it works, you can get up and claim, I knew this will work. Yes. But you also knew that those 99 might work. The damage should be minimal. The advantage of that one which works should supersede the damage of the 99 which did not work. So what? So try all options, be clear about it, keep writing it, do your collaborations, decide numbers that this is the numbers I should have in terms of revenue. I'm not talking of money as yet. I'm not talking of all numbers need not be rupees. They could be in non-rupee terms also. I should have so many customers. I should cover this target in so many days. In 30 days, I should do this. And then sit down and review that. Am my pitch is going wrong? Is the customer understanding what I'm trying to say or not understanding? Is my target segment wrong? Am I timing wrong? If you have to do something with the school, it can't be on few months when schools are not available for doing so many other things, right? So that each business has its own nuances, which we know because we invested our time there. And then when you have a question clear, reach out to somebody, me, or there are enough people like me who can see the problem from outside perspective and tell you that maybe you're missing out on this point, see it differently. I have no domain knowledge of your business, but in business, everything almost is the same view. You're making idlis and selling, or you're making aircrafts and selling. The basic business principles still remain the same. Reach out to people. None of us know everything, but we know people who know some subjects better than us in terms of perception, in terms of explanation. Reach out, learn from that. All of you, she told you that I didn't want to allow myself to be introduced. You should ask me why. What do you know about me apart from what Meenakshi said? Half of it are the adjectives, don't listen to it, doesn't mean anything. How many of you know enough about me? You don't. When did you get to know my name? You knew my name 4, 5, 7 days before, right? Did you sit down and search for me, looked at my LinkedIn profile and knew who I was? Why should you know who I am? Because as an entrepreneur, you're not supposed to waste your time. If I'm not worth it, don't waste your time. 1 hour here, 1.5 hour. I've crossed 1.5 hour. For what? It would not happen, but if CW is getting you a joker to come and talk to you about business of aeroplanes, it's wasting time. Why are you doing it? As an entrepreneur, you've got to be selfish. You have to think about yourself first, your usage of your time, your usage of your money, effort, everything is relevant and important. Why are you wasting your time listening to somebody whom you think, what would he say or she say and do what? Should you not do a background check on me in whatever is available on a digital format today? That is why I don't normally like myself to be introduced, because it's the first thing I have, that why should you waste your time with somebody if you don't know him? Nobody is forcing you to do this. That's the first condition of being an entrepreneur. You've got to be selfish. You got to think of your interest first. There's nothing wrong about it. Being selfish is a virtue, it's not a vice. You have to think of yourself first. If you don't think of yourself, you can't think of anybody else. You can't think of your children. Forget anybody else. Nobody nearer than children. You have to first think of yourself. Why are you investing your time, effort, energy into something which may not benefit? If it does not benefit you, still decided to benefit, walk off in 5 minutes. There's nothing wrong about it. I would appreciate that decision because you know what you want. Nobody can force you to take something which you don't want. Right? Be that clear about yourself and it will help you. That's why I don't like being introduced. That's why I told Meenakshi, introduction. People should know who I am before you walk in here. You should decide if you want to listen to somebody who can add some value to you. I'm sitting here to give Gita ka gyan. Lots of that available on YouTube. You don't have to do this for that. Right? Be selfish, think of yourself, but put numbers into all your decision making. Invest your time, effort, energy properly and rightly. That's my suggestion. I stop. Thank you. Meenakshi, take over.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. I think definitely we will have more reach outs from our entrepreneurs to have a session with you. So another
Anytime.
thing which I would like to share with our entrepreneurs is that we are coming up with a package of business model canvas and a business plan from CWE. To offer a one-on-one session, mentoring session over a period of time where the business plan and the business model canvas will be discussed and delivered sitting with Mr. Vijay Ladha. So feel free to reach out to me if you need to know more details about it. Thanks so much. And we have Shruti, also one of our team members who have joined with us. Thank you, Shruti.
Thanks,
Thank
Meenakshi,
you.
and thank you, Vijay, for a very enlightening session as always. It was lovely to hear everyone's questions and, get insights from the various businesses that they're stages that they're at.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Vijay. As always, you have been a great support to all of us, and we confidently just move forward every day with support from people like you. Thank you.
Pleasure always.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
Take
so
care.
much,
All the
sir.
best.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.